3, 2, 1. Crappy New Year. What up, Dolphins? Welcome to the Dive Bar. Yeah, we had to go heavy today, man. We got a nice Brugal Blanco with ginger beer. You know, mostly Blanco, a little bit of ginger beer. And we're going to talk about this one. Like, what the hell happened today? Miami falls to the Ravens up in Baltimore. Final score, 56-19. Man, yeah. Got to talk about, the 400-pound elephant in the room, the Bradley Chubb injury. That's like the first thing that I have to go to. Because, that sucked. There was like 3 minutes left in the friggin' game. And, what was it? Melvin Gordon? Somebody. Does a little juke move on him. Chubb is going one way, tries to shift weight, knee just blows out. As soon as he falls to the ground, he's grabbing the knee. You can hear him screaming from the TV. Just in complete agony, complete pain. Torn ACL, more than likely. Done for the season, and yeah, hindsight's always 20/20. You can go back and blame McDaniel, like, dude, why didn't you have these guys out sooner? And that's a fair criticism, especially in a game that's like so far gone at that point. It's a very fair criticism, but it sucks that freak accidents happen like that, because now in the matter of just a few weeks, Miami loses its 2 best edge rushers and their most productive. Like, Agba, he's going to have to get out of his feelings, and he's going to have to get in and step up. He's a prideful guy. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he can. Van Ginkel's going to have to come through. Melvin Ingram, or whoever else they're going to sign is going to have to come through and make plays. But it's like, this late in the game, like, you're not going to replace that productivity. Like, that friggin' Pro Bowl season that Chubb was having, you cannot replace that productivity. The guy had 11 sacks and 6 forced fumbles and a couple recoveries to boot. Like, how do you replace that? You can't. It's going to be impossible to replace that productivity. And, next man up, well, you're going to need like 3 men to be able to do what freaking Bradley Chubb's been able to do. Just a terror to offensive lines this whole friggin' season. And to see him go in the next to last game of the year, this team, I'm thankful that they made the playoffs, that they clinched a spot, but geez, man. You want to be like Baltimore at this time. You want to be clicking on all cylinders, being hot at the right time. This team's just, like, crawling in. Because not only that, Jalen Waddle didn't play in the game with his high ankle sprain. He's probably going to miss Week 18 versus Buffalo as well. And then who knows how long Xavier Howard's going to be out. Like, he hurt his foot in, like, the first defensive drive of the game. Yeah, he missed the rest of the game. Who knows the injury status? Who knows how long he is going to be out? Watching that game, just from the rip, you could just tell that, like, it was Miami would have to win in a shootout, because they moved the ball so good on the first drive. Start off with the screen to Achane. Achane ran the ball well. It's like the offense wasn't all bad. Achane was eating. He had over 100 yards in the run game, and he had a couple pass yards as well, or receiving yards. He was doing all right, taking the place of Raheem Mostert, who had to miss the week due to his injury status. Hopefully he'll be back in the Buffalo game. But he was doing all right. He was getting there. And then Cedric Wilson Jr. gets a nice touchdown catch. He's been showing up, right? Then the Ravens just take it down like so easily and are able to score. And then, Miami gets the ball back. You drive down the field, and on third down, like, the insane happens, right? Like, Tyreek's running his route, fakes like he's going outside, cuts inside, defender bites. He's wide open in the middle of the field and just drops, like, the pitch and catch touchdown. Just bobbles it, just in the hands up, and then just done. Now it's third down, so on fourth they kick a field goal. Ravens do their thing. Dolphins get the ball, another drive go down, breaks down inside the red zone, got to kick a field goal, And that Dallas stuff wasn't working 2 weeks in a row where you think that you're going to beat a team, especially an elite team like that, by field goals. It's like, no, you got to score touchdowns. Brass tacks, Baltimore scored touchdowns, Miami kicked field goals. And, this is the wrong part of the year for the offense to be struggling. And right now, that offense is struggling. And I get it, injuries are one thing, but you scored 2 touchdowns against the Ravens. You scored 1 touchdown against Dallas. All right? The friggin' best offense that the Dolphins have ever had, and statistically, in almost like every category. This great offense, They move the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. Greatest show in the surf, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call it. They, as a unit, have scored 3 touchdowns over the last 2 games, bro. That is not good enough. McDaniel, McGenius, bro, it's your second year. You're learning on the job. You're learning to grow. You're an awesome coordinator. You're still trying to put it all together. So we have to deal with your growing pains on top of the growing pains that we have as the team. And I get it, and we have to be patient, But it sucks that you see a freaking a weathered coach like Harbaugh out there just like outclassing you, taking you to school. I mean, other than the scripted plays of that first drive and maybe some carryover into the second drive, but after that, it was just tough sledding. That's a reason why this offense hasn't been able to score. Tua, Marino had that saying, pick a guy, let it fly, right? Tua has it's not a saying of his, but he just has this thing where it's like the way he throws, it's like, pick a spot, let it drop. He lets, he's a spot thrower. He's throwing to a spot on the field. That's his style of play. And it was working early in the game. He was finding Tyreek in coverage, but in these soft spots of the zone or wherever. And it worked for the first quarter and a half, whatever. But then once, Baltimore makes their adjustments, he keeps trying that play, and that's when it starts getting picked off. And that's when guys are over there to defend it, and they don't change it, though. Miami just sticks with it. That's their game, that's their style, that's they live and die by. That's just all they know how to do. The offense, they were just out of rhythm today. Tua's accuracy was okay and spots, but then in spots, he's just throwing into crazy coverages, forcing a lot of throws. And that's why he's getting picked. He's getting picked, he's getting hit, he's getting sacked. It's hard for him to extend plays. And then even when he's doing good, you got guys dropping the ball. I think they had 3 dropped touchdowns that game. I know. Tyreek dropped one. Claypool, would have been an awesome catch. Don't get me wrong. But even that, fell out of his hands. When he had it, should have been a touchdown, in my opinion. I think Julian Hill dropped one too, So it's the opportunities that you're getting, you're not taking full advantage of. And it's too late in the season to be doing that. But, it's not all bad. All right? Achane ran the ball well. He played a good game. He had a nice touchdown catch, went up for it, ran hard, didn't miss Mostert too much, right? And then Durham Smythe, that guy's getting love. He's a good pass-catching option. He gets open. Everybody knows Miami doesn't throw to tight ends, it seems, right? So he just finds his way open. He throws some blocks, gets open, gets good catches, gets, nice chunks of yards. Alex Ingle got a little play, got a nice catch. It's all right, It's nice to see other guys get involved. Something that I think they should have been doing all year, so Tua can build a better rapport with these guys, learn how to trust these guys in the game, in game time, so he can make these decisions and know, hey, I know my guy's going to catch. I know my guy's going to make a play. Crazy thing, though, about Durham Smythe is he's the 3rd leading receiver now on the football team. Out of all those, receivers, you got the Claypools, you got Cedric Wilson Jr., you got Berrios, you got Speed, Robbie Chosen, you got all these guys. And your number 3 right now is a tight end who, they never throw to tight ends because, he's been feasting over the last 3-4 games. So it's not all bad on the offense. They got to figure out a way to get right. Unfortunately, you have to overcome the injuries because, this was a relatively healthy team until that Black Friday Jets game, and then it was it all started to fade to black to them. Just so many injuries being picked up. The defense, I mean, that was rough. We can call a spade here, you know? Duke Riley, Duke got picked on. I mean, he got beat. He got burnt twice on the same play and like the same drive, man. Just chunk yards, deep passes. You know, Likely was unstoppable that game. Zay Flowers was unstoppable that game. I mean, they had that one drive. It was like one play, 75 yards, you know. Elliott out there just getting burnt. So many miscommunications in the secondary. You'd figure that this team would have been ready, you know, with everything that was at stake, you know. A chance to be number one in the conference. If you win that game, you know, obviously you have to win out, but still, you controlled your own destiny. And for such a big game, and you're just so discombobulated. You're so ill prepared. Your execution is so piss poor. I mean, that was the biggest bummer to see. You know, all those guys getting picked on, Kohu getting picked on, Riley getting picked on, Elliott getting picked on, Eli Apple. These guys, they were just lost in the sauce out there, and this defense has been clicking lately. So that's what, you know, it was like top four. So that's what was really hurt to see, demoralizing to see. Because you just seen this Baltimore offense just, I mean, tear them up. Even the friggin' backup quarterback came in and threw a deep pass for a touchdown. You know, it was like shades of Miami versus Denver when Robbie Chosen got that deep ball thrown to him. You know, and I don't blame Harbaugh for running up the score. I mean, come on, it's what you're supposed to do, man. Your the offense's job is to score points. The team's job is to score points and win. Like, forget all that, you know, that nonsense of sportsmanship and all that, bro. Like, do your thing. Like, I'm not mad at it. But, I mean, all three phases of the game, Miami just got smacked in, bro. Even special teams. Like, you're trying to get some kind of momentum going. You try to make a stop to start the second half. And what do? Like, you allow a huge kick return. They get down, like, to inside the 15-yard line. Like, but it's not all bad. You know, I hear the licking your wounds and then going back out there and making a statement, you know, because even though the big goal that you wanted, I mean, that you could have gotten for the regular season isn't there, you still have other options. You know, you can still beat Buffalo and win the division. So at least you'd be guaranteed a home game. But if not, you know, you wind up losing that game, you might have to go on the road and play KC. But, I mean, that might not be too bad because you might have a chance to beat them. You know, their offense hasn't been good. And you've seen it before. You're able to stop it for the most part. So we'll see. But it's not all bad because if this team can really learn from their mistakes, if they can really execute better, I mean, honestly, I think it's better to lose to Baltimore in the regular season. So when you see them in the playoffs, you know what doesn't work now. You know how to tailor your game plan to do maybe something that does work. And hopefully you have healthy receivers to boot, and you can somehow figure out a plan to cover, a plan against Lamar Jackson better. Maybe have Ramsey moving around and blanketing Flowers and the top guys over there. Like, maybe you have a chance. So I'm trying not to let cynical Dolphin out. You know, I mean, I'm 37. I'll be 38 this coming year, right? So, like, my entire adult life, all I've known is, like, mediocre crap Dolphins football, right? So, that guy starts creeping up, but I'm doing my best to keep him at bay because this season, you know, it's been a couple of really crappy games. You know, that Tennessee game might have dropped us out, you know, put us in this situation right here. And then this beatdown that we caught from Baltimore, but it's still in front of you. You still got a chance to at least win the division, get a home game, maybe even two in the playoffs. Who knows? And it's right there. It's right there. Putting that behind you. Next week, you're 11-5 Dolphins. It's the final game of the season. You've got the Bills coming to town. All right? They're like, what, 10-6? This literally is for, like, all the marbles, right? You beat Buffalo, you're division champ. And coming into the season, like, that was probably the goal, like, the big goal for them coming into the season was probably like, yo, we need to win the division if we want to get to where we want to get to. right? And you can do it because even Buffalo's been winning. You know, they've been pulling some close games out against some teams. But it's like, bro, Josh Allen ain't throwing the ball all that well. Stephon Diggs isn't really balling out either. The guy's having like 3-4 catches a game. Okay? I know they always play like friggin' gods of football against the Dolphins. But if you can make them recreate that bad kind of mediocre play that they have, I mean, you could smack them in the mouth. I know that it's not going to be Waddle. I'll probably have Mostert back, hopefully. But you can do enough on offense to get it done. And, you know, you just got to go out there, execute, let the chips fall where they may, right? But it's not all bad. There's still some positives to work forward to look forward to. And it's still in their hands, you know. It would have been great to have the bye week, get some players rested up, but that's not going to happen. So now it's on to the next best thing. The next best thing is win the division, beat Buffalo, and, you know, be Brian Cox this week. Anyway, I'm finished with this drink, which means we're done with this video. I still want to reach out. I want to wish all of you a Happy New Year from the Dolphins Dive Bar. I appreciate you tapping in during the 2023 calendar year. We still got some more videos to go. I mean, I want to be making these videos, you know, up until February 11th, February 12th. And hopefully, you know, I'm getting ready to say what's up to a couple of you at that parade. You know what I'm saying? So once again, even though our Dolphins fell to the Ravens 56-19, we got Buffalo up next. You know, wipe the slate clean. It's a new year, right? 2024. In a few minutes, few hours, wherever you are, right? It's here. New year. Slate's wiped clean. Dolphins are 0-0 in the 2024 calendar year. So one game at a time. Do something positive. Thanks for coming to the Dive Bar. I appreciate it. And it's Bills week. So that's for the Bills. Brian Cox style, baby.